This is Let's Talk Valdosta, the City of Valdosta podcast. I'm your host, Shara Denton, and I'm here with Larry Ogden, who is the newly appointed Public Works Director who came from traffic, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Larry, can you introduce yourself and what you do now with the City of Valdosta?
Yes, my name is Larry Ogden. I've been with the city soon to be 27 years. My background is in engineering traffic. I've enjoyed traffic, and my new role as a Public Works Director, I love it because I'm having the opportunity to learn something new, meet new people and citizens on the other side versus them being behind a wheel of a vehicle. Now they call me on the telephone with their issues.
Direct contact.
Yes, I really enjoy it.
And how has that transition been from traffic management to public works, given that they are quite different fields?
The transition actually has been really smoothly. I have a great staff. The people in public works, they welcome me with open arms. They have been really helpful. They give me all the information I need, give me suggestions, give me advice, and things I don't know. They're educating me on it. So it's been a really good transition. I'm enjoying it.
Have you had any, or what have been some of the biggest challenges maybe that you have faced in this transition from traffic to public works?
One of the biggest challenges I'm facing currently is the VIA system. I'm used to traffic. My background's in traffic, but it's signs, markings, dealing with signals. Now with the VIA traffic side, I'm dealing with the transportation vans, our micro transit system. It's very challenging dealing with the rules that FTA has in place. We have to follow those guidelines and then follow the guidelines that Georgia GDOT put in our scope of. We got to follow these guidelines in order to receive funds and grants and everything. So that's very challenging at the moment.
Speaking of, you mentioned VIA. Can you explain to the listeners what VIA is and how do we utilize that for the City of Valdosta?
Okay, VIA is our micro transit system. So basically what it is a modified taxi service. So the citizens, they can call, book an appointment. The van will come. Most of the time they can get them close to their residence, or they may have to walk a short distance to a designated pickup point. Once they're picked up, VIA will take them anywhere within inside the city limits and drop them off. So if they need to go from their house to the grocery store, their house to work, VIA will be there to pick them up. And then they can go ahead and schedule a time to be picked up to go back home. So it's a really good service, and the citizens are really taking full advantage of it.
And for those that may not know, that's our Valdosta On Demand, who right now we have some transitions going on with Valdosta On Demand, but so far they've been good changes and challenges. Did you want to talk briefly about that?
Yes, that's correct. We have been listening to the citizens. So the citizens have been contacting their elected officials, the city manager, and myself. They're saying there have been large gaps in the day where they cannot book rides. So we've heard those issues and we addressed those concerns. We reached out to VIA. So for the month of July, we implemented a pilot program to where we're doing on demand only. So the on demand only means you cannot do pre-booking. So if you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and book a ride for 8:30, you can call 30 minutes in advance, 7, and then they will schedule you. They have someone there to pick you up. They'll take you where you need to be, and then when you need to be picked up again to return, they will do it. So with the pilot program, we have seen an increase of roughly 20% in ridership. Yes. So that is excellent. So we're meeting the needs, and we heard their outcry, and we're trying to solve that and address the issues that they have.
Okay. And let's kind of, because you are in here about public works, so I don't want to get too much into the on-demand. But let's talk about sanitation, because I know that's something that you get a lot of questions about.
Yes.
I know PIO does as well. What should residents know about using the green rollout cans for their household waste? Okay.
So first, with the green garbage cans, please put them out the night before. We receive multiple calls where the citizens say, hey, they missed my garbage can or whatever. If you put out the night before, when those guys go down that road, they're going to make sure they pick it up. So please put it out the day before, because their day will start 5:30 in the morning. So they're trying to go through, make sure that riders ran so they can beat the heat and go ahead and make sure everything is done efficiently.
I know earlier we were talking to Kevin, who works in stormwater, and he was talking about yard debris. When we had Hurricane Idalia, then we had another storm situation a few months later. Can you talk about any specific guidelines for disposing of yard debris? I know that's something that we get a lot of questions about, a lot of misinformation out there about yard debris disposal. Can you tell the residents and listeners about how to prepare for that?
Yes, when you're putting your yard debris beside the roadway, first and foremost, follow the guidelines of the size. Now, most people are visual. So if you are at the hardware store and you see a sheet of plywood, it's a 4x8. That is the guideline. If you can put your yard debris on a 4x8 piece of plywood and no higher than 5 feet, the city would pick that up. There would be no additional charge. But when your pile is the size of a pickup truck or larger, there's going to be a fee associated with that. And it's very important that the citizens separate their debris. If it's just regular yard trimmings, if you separate your grass, then your limbs, and then mix stuff, we can pick that up even faster, because here's what the citizens do not know. They feel like if they put everything in one pile, it's easier for the city to pick up.
It's actually opposite.
That is not true. When you mix everything together, we have to take that load of debris to a separate location, which is going to be the landfill. And the landfill charges by the ton. So currently we're paying roughly $26.74 per ton. So when you're taking trailer load after trailer load, multiple tons, that's adding up. But we can take it to a facility out in Dasher called Green World, where they only charge us by the trailer. It's a flat fee. So if it's just regular yard debris and we take it out there, we're actually saving money for the citizens. So please don't mix it. And another thing to remember, the size of the debris that you put out there. Usually 3 to 4 feet in length, 4 to 5 inches in diameter. But we have people that will cut down pine trees and oak trees that's 3 and 4 feet in diameter. These trunk of trees are weighing 300, 400, 500 pounds. That's tasking our equipment. We should not be picking that up because it's just busting our hydraulic lines, damaging equipment. That's putting us farther and farther behind. So please follow the guidelines that's put in place. And one more thing I'd like to touch on. A lot of misinformation that's going out there. After the storm, we had multiple citizens call in and say, well, the contractor told me that we put it beside the road, the city will pick it up. That is not true. If you hire a contractor to do any yard work, cutting down trees, pine trees, oak trees, whatever, it is their responsibility to haul that debris off. It's not the city's responsibility. You're paying them for a service. So when you pay them for that service and they leave that yard debris beside the road, that contractor just increased his profit margin because they drove off and left that there for the city to pick up. And that gets into other issues where you get citations and you have to go to court, but that's a topic for our neighborhood development. I'm not going to too much get into that. They've kind
of touched on some other departments that touched on that too, because it seems to be a domino effect when that happens, and it's really at a disadvantage for the citizens who may not know that information. Part of your role with Public Works also includes recycling. I know we get a lot of questions about recycling too.
Yes.
But can you explain the recycling program and what items are accepted for recycling in our community?
Yes, our recycling program, we have, at one point we had 3 sites. Right now the only one that's currently open is the 5 Point Shopping Center, where we have all sway cars out there. We'll take plastic, glass, cardboard. It is very important that the citizens follow those rules. When you put it in there, make sure glass go in the glass container, the cardboard and cardboard. We have those trailers set up because once we come in and remove those, we can take it to the appropriate location and recycle that. The problem we're having is over the weekend, we have a lot of citizens that come and use those recycling bins as dumpsters. And once again, like I said earlier, when you dump yard house trash in there, we're having to take that to the landfill, which is going to incur a fee. And we have to pass that on because we budgeted for so much per year. And when we start taking more and more debris out to the landfill, that's eating into our budget even more. And unfortunately, rates will have to go up to kind of compensate for that. So please follow the rules that's in place. Cardboard, glass. Each container has a specific item that you can put in there.
So don't just dump the trash in there like it's a dumpster, because it's not.
That is correct. We've gone out there where people have dumped couches, mattresses, things like that. That's not recyclable.
What are some of your long-term plans for the Public Works Department?
Long-term plan, first and foremost, we're trying to get more employees hired. Right now we're running short on employees, so we're trying to get more people hired into the Public Works Department. 2, we would like to get more equipment for the employees that would be able to stay on the road longer without having to worry about breakdowns and things. I want to get a staff that's there that's going to be dedicated, that's going to be willing to consider the city a career. Come here, work, and retire. So those are my some of my long-term goals for Public Works. I would like to create a family environment with them so people come to work happy and go home happy. So overall, we just want to make Public Work a more friendlier, inviting, family-oriented place where we can come, serve the citizens of Valdosta, and then they go home to their family. Have a good day.
Well, I will say in the time that you've been in the public works department, you do seem to have this leadership ability to bring that together with your staff. They work really well together. They answer questions very promptly with citizens. Even sometimes we have questions as PIO division and they're really on top of that stuff. They really seem happy to work there. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners about your new role or with the department or anything else that they need to be aware of?
Basically, just remember Public Works, we're here to serve the community. My job, I want to be a liaison. I want to go out and speak to the public because I listen to the citizens. One of the biggest issues the citizens have, the older generations, when I say, well, it's on social media, it's on here, and they quickly say, I don't have social media, I don't have Instagram, I don't have that. So I work really hard to work with you and your staff to get in front of the television stations to do those interviews for the people who watch the daily news. I work really well with you all to go ahead and do things with Valdosta Daily Times. So I want to make sure that the citizens of Valdosta, no matter which method of information they get it from, whether it's television, newspaper, social media, whatever, I want to be out there in the forefront. I want to be proactive because when the citizens know what's going on and what's coming, they're more receptive and they can always say, yes, we were informed that that was coming. Right. So once they know, the transition is a little bit smoother. People don't like change, but if they're informed ahead of time, they're more willing to take it. There may be some rumbling and grumbling, but at least they can say, well, at least they did tell us this was coming. So that's my job. I want to inform the public as early as I can prior to things that's coming.
Okay. And how can the citizens get in touch with the Public Works Department if they have any questions or assistance with their sanitation services?
We can be reached easily. They can go to the website. Our numbers are listed on the Public Works page. They can contact your department where you can be transferred over to the Public Works Department.
Get all the questions.
Yeah. So we have multiple lines over there. I don't want to give out the wrong number at the moment because we have different departments and different divisions. So just go to our website on Valdosta, City of Valdosta, go to the Public Works, phone numbers and everything will be listed there.
Well, thank you so much, Larry, for your time, and thank you for your leadership and all you do for City of Valdosta and your team. And that's it for the Let's Talk Valdosta podcast.
Thank you.